That's right.
We have like,
Good morning. It looks like about half of our members are virtual and remote, and half of them are in the room. That'll make a bit of a challenging meeting since I am remote and I'll be chairing the meeting. I trust that folks who are in the room will make sure that their voices are heard. Raise your hand if you or otherwise just be sure that I don't miss you. It's sometimes difficult on this end to see what's going on in the room. And when I am speaking, the CTN feed changes to me, and so I can no longer see what's going on in the room. And so we'll start in just a minute. We'll just let a couple more people gather. No. No. Great. Okay, I just want to make sure that I can barely see into the room, but is Irene and Senator, Representative Haynes and Senator Kelly both in the room?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
sorry, I'm using my mic now. Senator Kelly is not here yet, but I am here.
Okay, very good. I think that we can, well, we can give another moment or two, but I'm not sure. As long as we got most people have gathered. Well, we'll wait just a moment or two longer to see if Senator Kelly joins us.
We just texted him, so we know he's downstairs and we're waiting for him to come up.
Okay, great.
Everybody's shaking their head. Yeah, he's coming. He's coming.
Representative Haddad, maybe we could start and begin to build a consent calendar, and then perhaps some other members will join us by the time we're finished with that.
I don't know who that was just speaking, but that seems reasonable. I was going to take all of the items in order and allow folks to move items to consent as they deem appropriate. But let's start. I'll convene the meeting. And this is our last JF meeting. So the bills that we do today will be the last bills that we will originate from our committee. I expect that there'll be, there often are some referrals later on, and so we will it's not likely to be our last meeting, but it'll be the last one for our bills. I don't know if Senator Slapp, who I know is also joining us remotely, has any additional comments, or if Representative Haynes does as well, but I look forward to a productive meeting today.
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Happy to be here and to conclude our business, at least when it comes to bills, as you said, that are originating from this committee. It's been a pleasure, and I know some of the conversations are going to continue between now and the CNADA, but thanks again for everybody's great work. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I didn't realize you were in the room. You're also listed on the remote list here, so I appreciate that. But and if you could help to manage things in the room, Senator Slapp, that would be better. That would be great. If there are people whose hands are raised who I can't see on the online feed, that'd be great. Representative Haynes, did you have anything you wanted to add before we start the meeting?
Sure. Again, I'd also agree with my colleague here in that I think the work that we do on the higher ed committee is very bipartisan, and appreciate all everybody's work, and also what everybody brings to the table. Insights and work experience and all that really does help us understand this best. And also obviously all our partners at the university systems as well as workforce development work. So again, thanks to everybody, and let's get this going. And my colleague Senator Kelly is also here.
Great. Senator Kelly, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes, I would just like to add that this was my first session on higher ed. I wanted something new. Normally I've been on, insurance, dealing with public health, human services, aging children's. So I wanted a little different insight, and I was very pleased to have that working relationship this session. I think we did a lot of good things. I think there's more work to be done, but look forward to continuing that progress and making sure that the state of Connecticut has the best higher ed system in the country. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, so with that, we'll start in with bills under item number 3. The first one is proposed bill 5437, an act establishing a student loan subsidy program. Originally, this was for police officers. It's been expanded in this draft to all first responders. I'll accept a motion to JF this item to the floor.
Senator Slapp, so moved.
Oh. Rep. Rochelle second.
Slapp moves, Rochelle seconds. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none. Representative Haynes, is this an item that's consentable?
Yes, I asked to move this to consent.
All right, so I'll take, well, actually, hold on just one moment. I see Representative D'Amico's hand up. Representative D'Amico.
Yeah, just for clarification, Mr. Chair, we are JFing the proposed bill or we're JFing a different version of the bill? I'm a little confused.
Yeah, no, so this is a proposed bill that had a public hearing and we subsequently voted to draft the bill. The bill has been drafted and is now a committee bill so it's a JF of the committee bill.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so so the motion's been made and Representative Haynes, I guess now is the appropriate time to make a motion to both establish a consent calendar and to add this item to the consent calendar. I presume that you've made that motion. I'll take that as being what you
Yes,
did.
so moved.
Great, thank you.
Senator Slap seconds.
So the motion's been made and seconded, and without objection, that item will be moved to the consent calendar. Item number 2 is House Bill 5441, an act concerning, hold on a second, it also has a new bill title. An act concerning clinical placements for nursing students, the establishment of registered apprenticeships for teachers, reporting by the Office of Workforce Strategy, promotion of the development of the insurance industry, and a student loan subsidy for high demand professions. Like the previous bill, this is a proposed bill that was drafted into a committee bill. What we have in front of us is the committee bill, LCO 5867, and I will accept a motion to JF this item to the floor.
So moved.
Seconded. Representative
Yeah.
Farrar, seconded.
So it was moved by Senator Marr and seconded by Representative Farrar. Senator Slapp, you have your hand up. Is that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No, we did have a suggestion late, actually, it was this morning that Department of Corrections would be able to add somebody to task force that's being created. And we're not, planning on amending the bill here, but I just wanted to put that out as something that I hope that we can work on as the session continues to potentially ensure that Department of Corrections, their voice and the services that they provide are represented in this bill. So hope we can continue that conversation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Slapp. I agree. I think they would be an excellent addition. I was looking at the appointing authorities, which all work out quite evenly now. Couldn't figure out a way to sort of add them quickly. But I think that as this bill progresses, and certainly before it gets to, as it gets to the House floor, that's a request that we can accommodate. Representative Case.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just a question. When you look down at the statement of purpose, do we have a definition, and would maybe Department of Corrections fit in there, but establish student loan subsidy for a program for high demand professions? Do we have a definition of what high demand professions is, or is that part of the study through you?
I think that's an excellent question. The bill actually in lines 159 to 164 defines what those high demand professions will be. There's a lot of high demand professions, I will say that. This bill in particular is targeted towards registered nurses, licensed practical nurses, home health aides, providers of programs or services for individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities who are employed by a state agency or nonprofit organization, and child care providers employed by a child care center, a group home, or a family child care home.
And thank you for that. And my apologies, because the actual language didn't come up until I believe late last night. But and it doesn't have in there anything for Department of Corrections, and I was just concerned, is that high demand, is that a statutory language, or is that just a language that higher ed put forth?
There are a lot of components to this bill, and the first component of the bill establishes, seeks to establish a plan for establishing clinical placements at state facilities for nursing students. And it's that section, I think, that the Department of Corrections has asked if they could be included in. It currently, we put together a working group with people from the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, the Department of Children and Families, and Developmental Services. And they were eager to participate since they have lots of clinical needs in their facilities. And so that's what we will seek to include in section 1 of the bill, their participation in that section of the work. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess it does. And just so the first two bills are basically, they've changed the titles and therefore the language has changed also. But I was just confirming, wanting to make sure in the high demand professions and what they were. That was my major question. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion of this bill? Shall we proceed to a roll call vote, or does somebody want to make a motion to add this to consent?
I'd like to make a motion to add this to the consent calendar, please.
Okay, thank you. And without objection, that item will be moved to consent. The next item on the agenda is House Bill 5737, an act concerning health insurance for retired part-time faculty of the Connecticut State University System. The chair will accept a motion to JF this item to the Appropriations Committee.
So moved.
Representative D'Amico makes the motion. Who seconded?
Representative Cooley seconds.
Representative Cooley, great. A vigorous motion made by Representative D'Amico. Is there any discussion on the bill? Representative Case.
As I have last session, is there anything in this bill, and I can't find the language, that the part-time adjunct or part-time professor has to be in the state of Connecticut, or can they be remote anywhere?
That's a good question, Representative Case. I think that I don't know that there are very many adjunct professors who teach remotely. I suppose that is very likely to be the case, certainly at Charter Oak State University. I don't think so. There is a section of the bill that says that participants can only become eligible if they are eligible, I guess, if otherwise under a state-sponsored retirement system. I don't know if that includes any residency requirements or not, but I don't think that residency is required to access these benefits, frankly. I can think of tenured professors at some of our state universities that don't live in Connecticut, but they work here and they're paid here, and so they similarly would be eligible for benefits. So I don't think there's a residency requirement required to access this benefit.
And this is going forward, not going backwards?
Well, I think that this is intended to well, let me say this. This would be going, I guess, I'm not sure how to answer your question. It would be going forward, except that I think that there will be some accommodation made so that people can buy into the system. Frequently when benefits are made available and payments by employees have been required to be made on an ongoing basis. There's an opportunity for somebody who's not otherwise eligible to buy into the benefit. And so if there were an employee contribution that would generally be deducted from an employee's paycheck, and they haven't been deducting that amount because they've been ineligible and now become eligible as a result of their participation in this program, then they would be able to buy in. And in that respect, it would be retroactive. But they would incur the cost to buy into the program.
Okay, and by moving to the 220 credit hours, as we talked about in the hearing, that is probably going to limit the amount of people that are.
It will certainly limit. I mean, 220 credits over any period of time is an awful lot of credits for an adjunct professor to teach. And I think, Representative D'Amico would be first among many to say that that these are longtime employees of the state of Connecticut who, but for the fact that they are hired as an adjunct professor as opposed to a full-time tenured professor, are contributing a lot to our college campuses and are well deserving of some accommodation in terms of benefits in retirement. But in order to achieve that, they need to teach 220 credits, which I think probably takes somewhere between 12 and 15 years.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Are there any additional comments?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Representative Cooley.
Yes,
Thank you,
Representative Gould.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As a practical matter, you're looking to hit the 220 mark. The max usually for most academic adjunct faculty is 12 a year. So you're looking at about 18 years to achieve it. Some of the faculty that would be teaching art or courses with labs could achieve it in the around 13, 15 year mark, but they'd have to be teaching the labs every year in addition to the regular course, just for a point of clarification. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that additional piece of information. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, yes, Senator Kelly.
Yes, Senator Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple of questions surrounding the formula that's going to be adopted by the comptroller. Are these individuals going to be put into the normal state employee health plan, or is this going to be a separate plan established in its own right by the comptroller? Or are they going to be part of another plan, such as the partnership plan?
That's a very good question, Senator Kelly. I think the intention here is to put them into the regular state employee plan, but I think that may require some acceptance by the CBAC coalition. And so I'll leave that as somewhat of an open question to be resolved as this bill moves forward. I think that we don't often add people to the CBAC pool without their agreement and acceptance, and if that were not possible, then I imagine a separate pool would be created.
Okay, as a health plan that is not insurance, it's not covered by the Affordable Care Act. As such, I know the partnership plan has the ability to discriminate against pools. So if this doesn't go into the state employee plan with the acceptance of CBAC, where's the guarantee that the employees, if put into this, are not going to be discriminated against for pre-existing conditions?
I think that's an excellent point. I think that's one of the reasons why our primary goal would be to get them into the normal retirement plan.
Okay, the other concern too is if they're not in the normal plan, where's the protection for taxpayers? Because under the partnership plan, which has been running in the red, the Connecticut taxpayer is the ultimate, I'm going to say, person or entity that absorbs the loss. How do we know that by doing this, the taxpayer is not going to be held accountable?
Again, I think that these are all good points. I don't know how to answer your question on this one in particular, and so I expect that as this bill moves through the process, that there will be others will vet the language and will work out any potential problem. I would just say that adjunct professors in particular are real bargains for the state. I mean, arguably, by employing adjuncts rather than regular tenured professors, the state taxpayers is already sort of protected from the increased costs that would be due to tenured professors, and so there's a bit of a trade-off here. But I understand your point.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you as to the capability and quality of adjuncts. It's one of the reasons I have concern over that ratio, Bill. So for today, I can see the bill moving forward, but I think there's work that needs to be done surrounding that formula, just to make sure that both the adjuncts and the taxpayers are protected in the process. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And thank you for your comments. Your expertise would be helpful as the bill moves forward, I'm sure. Are there any other questions or comments regarding 5737? Are we ready to proceed to a vote, or I don't know if this is consentable or not?
It looks like we're ready for a roll call vote, Mr. Chair.
Great. The clerk will call the roll on House Bill 5737.
For anyone on Zoom, please make sure when you say your vote that your camera's on. Thank you. Representative Haddad,
Representative Haddad votes yes.
Senator Slatt,
Senator Slapp votes yes.
Representative Haynes,
Representative Haynes votes yes.
Senator Kelly,
Pass.
Representative Rochelle,
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
Senator Maher,
Senator Mar votes yes.
Representative Arceno,
Representative votes yes.
Representative Brown, Representative Case,
Representative Case votes no.
Representative Cooley,
Representative Cooley votes yes.
Representative D'Amico,
Representative D'Amico votes yes.
Representative Farrar,
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Senator Flexer, Representative Fortier,
Representative Fortier votes yes.
Representative Johnson,
Representative Johnson votes yes.
Representative Lanu,
No.
Senator Lopes,
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Senator Maroney, Representative Paris,
Representative Paris votes yes.
Right.
Representative Scott,
Representative Scott votes no.
Representative Turco,
Representative Turco votes yes.
Representative Weir.
Rep Weir is no.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we will hold votes open until 1 hour after the conclusion of the meeting. Hopefully our staff or other members won't get trapped while the snowstorm is occurring. If it ever arrives, I guess I probably there's snow on the ground and Representative Case's neck of the woods, I understand, but there isn't any near that.
Only 18 inches.
Only 18 inches. The next item on the agenda is Senate Bill number 1105, an act concerning the percentage of courses taught by part-time faculty at the regional community technical colleges. There's substitute language. I'll accept a motion to JFS LCO number 5876 to the Appropriations Committee.
Senator Slapp, so moved.
Representative Farrar, second.
Okay, that motion's been made and seconded. Is there discussion of this item?
Mr. Chair, Senator Kelly.
Senator Kelly, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know that we had some questions with regards to this bill and screening, and I understand its purpose is to improve the quality of our community college system, to make sure that our students get the best possible academic quality when they pay their tuition. I also understand that our goal is to try and make sure that the trades and technical experience that is gleaned from hands-on experience in the field is actually maintained and not diminished by this bill. I've read the JFS language. It may get us there, but I just got this today, and my concern is that I want to check with our technical and community college system to make sure that we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. So I'm going to vote no today for the purpose of marking the bill. But I continue to hope that we can work on this to both improve our community college system and its academics, as well as making sure that we don't abridge any of the ability to get more trade experience into the classroom. So I'll be voting no for that purpose and that purpose only today, not substantively. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Kelly. Yeah, we certainly did make an accommodation in the bill to ensure that we were talking about, I can't remember what that, academic courses and not those skill and certification courses that you were referring to. And that was our best effort to accommodate that concern. The bill also makes this item a subject of, it would be mandated that be included in the next collective bargaining agreement once it's opened. We don't often do that, but that seems to be the best mechanism to ensure that this schedule could be included and adhered to over time. So that is also sort of embedded into the substitute language. Is there any additional comments or questions regarding this item?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Cooley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My only concern here is that we're going all the way down to 25% of all academic courses on 7/1/27. I have concerns in terms of the cost. We do have a problem, especially in terms of over reliance on part-timers, so that academic advising and other things that are done by the faculty are kind of getting dropped. So we do need to fix it. But I do have serious concerns in terms of the expense going down to that low a number. And its impact but in terms of budgets. So that's my big qualification there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate your remarks. Any additional questions or concerns, comments? Seeing none, I suspect we'll call a roll call on this item as well, and the clerk can call the roll.
Representative Haddad,
Representative Haddad votes yes.
Senator Slapp,
Senator Slapp votes yes.
Representative Haynes,
Rep. Haynes votes yes.
Senator Kelly,
Senator Kelly votes no.
Representative Rochelle,
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
Senator Mar,
Senator Mar votes yes.
Representative Arseno,
Representative votes yes.
Representative Brown, Representative Case,
Representative Case flagging with a no.
Representative Cooley,
Representative Cooley flagging with a no.
Representative D'Amico,
Representative D'Amico votes yes.
Representative Farrar,
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Senator Flexer,
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Representative Fortier,
Representative Fortier votes yes.
Representative Johnson,
Representative Johnson votes yes.
Representative Lanu,
No.
Senator Lopes,
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Senator Maroney, Representative Paris,
Representative Paris votes yes.
Representative Scott,
Representative Scott votes no.
Representative Turco,
Representative Turco votes yes.
Representative Weir.
Rep Weir is no.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is item number 5, Senate Bill number 1107, and that concerning contracts, bids, and capital improvement projects for the University of Connecticut. I will say that I think that this applies not just to UConn, but also to our state university system as well. And I'll accept a motion to JF this item to the Government Administration Elections Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
That was made by Senator Flexer and seconded by,
Rep Paris.
okay. Are there any additional questions or comments on this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Weir.
Yes, Representative Weir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just have a few questions of clarification because I think what I interpret is that this is trying to streamline purchasing through the university system. That we heard in testimony, putting it on in parity with the DAS and state contract. But just looking, I want to direct your attention to line 35, page 2. And where it talks about when possible, all purchases $150,000, $100,000 or less, excuse me, shall be made in the open market, but when possible. So when we talk about when possible, what's an example of not seeking, 3 competitive quotations? Is that perhaps where there's a specialty item or only one contractor steps forward? Just concerned with that phrase, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much for the question. I don't know how to answer your question. This is, the when possible, of course, is existing state language. We're only changing the 50 to 100. But I will say that that's one of the reasons why I'm really grateful to Senator Flexer and the leadership of the GE committee for welcoming this bill with open arms, because I think that the expertise that is provided by both the LCO attorneys and the research staff in the Government Administration Elections Committee is more capable of vetting out some of the particulars of this language. My only goal here is to make sure that as these dollar amounts are changed and updated statewide for DAS and for our higher ed constituent units, that they maintain themselves in relatively that they stay in consistent with one another. And so there's a different section of the statutes that deals with contracting through DAS. It's my understanding that there's a movement underway to update these thresholds for DAS as well. And by referring this to the Government Administration Elections Committee, we can make sure that what we think is appropriate for higher education is also appropriate, is consistent with what's happening elsewhere in state government. So I imagine I could offer an opinion about what when possible means. I suspect it means exactly what you said, which is if there are not if there are only 2 bids and not 3, then those might be important words. But I feel like this language is probably better vetted by the Government Administration Elections Committee. So if we send the bill there, we can have confidence that our procurement and contracting rules are consistent with what we have established for DAS.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. It's a fair statement because that was existing language. And I would just like to go to page 4, lines of 87 through 91, just talking about the way I see it, construction shall not begin prior to determination of the maximum guaranteed price, which is line 84 through 86. But then they carve out some items that seem to be excluded from that. And site preparation, demolition, public utility installation, a lot of these carry a major cost. So I'm concerned if we don't have, and again, correct me if I'm misunderstanding this, but that we would come up with a maximum cost for a construction project and then exclude some of these major costs and maybe say that those are not subject. Construction could begin on those without knowing the total cost. A lot of times those are windows, doors, those are all wrapped up in the total cost of the project. So I'm concerned that we could have cost creep by excluding those items, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for your comment. I don't have anything further to add. If you're done, Representative Weir, then I'll call on Representative Case.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Quick question, 2 questions. So is this bill strictly just for the University of Connecticut? And why not across the board?
No, I actually think that this is for both the University of Connecticut and also for the constituent units of the Board of, under the Board of Regents.
Because when I read the review, it does mention specifically allows the University of Connecticut to pre-qualify contractors for a period of 1 year with a 2-year renewal periods for the contracts costing more than $1 million. It spells out in here the University of Connecticut specifically throughout. I'm just curious why.
What line are you looking at in particular?
I'm looking at the statement of purpose down below. I could find it in the language, but
yeah. I mean, I guess we could ask for clarification from our LCO attorney. I think that she, well, I'm not sure if she's in the room, but she's not online.
In the statement of purpose, it refers to the constituent units because the existing language does apply to both constituent units of the state system of higher education.
okay, I'm just reading through and I see that the University of Connecticut in a few different places, and I was just curious if it was just specific because the actual title
yeah, I think
is specific also.
Yeah, I think that the language came to us from the University of Connecticut, which might have, might have been how UConn got added to the bill title. But this was a joint request from both the state university system, the community colleges, and the University of Connecticut. And so, if there are alterations to the bill that might be required moving forward, I don't think there are. But if there are, then certainly it would be my intention to make sure that these rules apply to everybody, and that's consistent again with sending it to Government Administration Elections Committee to make sure that the rules that exist for all of our constituent units of higher education are consistent with those that exist for the Department of Administrative Services. In some cases, because of UConn 2000 authority, UConn might have authority that isn't currently provided to the CSU system. That was, an historic relic of UConn 2000 when UConn came in with a very substantial sort of building plan and asked for the ability to manage it themselves as a way to sort of expedite the matters. But so there may be some remnants left over in the sections of the statutes that refer to just, but we can take a look at that moving forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Weir, I believe, has another question.
Representative Weir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think on today, I think if we could get I could be a yes on this going forward if we could tighten up the language, but just I'll be a no today based on what I perceive is to be kind of an open liability of cost. So I just want to go on the record for that, but thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Are there any further comments or any further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on Senate Bill 1107.
Representative Haddad,
Representative Haddad votes yes.
Senator Slapp,
Senator Slapp votes yes.
Representative Haynes,
Rep. Haynes votes yes.
Senator Kelly,
Senator Kelly votes yes.
Representative Rochelle,
Representative Rochelle votes yes.
Senator Mar,
Senator Mar votes yes.
Representative Arceno,
Representative votes yes.
Representative Brown,
Representative Brown votes yes.
Representative Case,
Representative Case flags with a no.
Representative Cooley,
Representative Cooley votes no.
Representative D'Amico,
Representative D'Amico votes yes.
Representative Farrar,
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Senator Flexer,
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Representative Fortier,
Representative Fortier votes yes.
Representative Johnson,
Representative Johnson votes yes.
Representative Lanu,
No.
Senator Lopes,
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Senator Maroney, Representative Paris,
Representative Paris votes yes.
Representative Scott,
Representative Scott votes yes.
Representative Turco,
Representative Turco votes yes.
Representative Weir.
Rep. Weir is no.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is Senate Bill 921, an act requiring reporting on the implementation of the Students First plan. The chair will accept a motion to JFS
So moved.
LCO number 6034 to the floor. That motion has been made by Representative Case and seconded by
Rep. Haynes.
Representative Haynes. So hey, this is a good bill. I don't know why someone wouldn't be enthusiastic about seconding. This bill obviously, comes it's timely. The system is set to consolidate as early as this summer. Having received their approval that summer to proceed. This is intended to sort of create a system of metrics where we can assess, how the new state community college is achieving better outcomes over time, and we hope that it will help to illuminate the inner workings of the system so that we can better track their work. Is there any further discussion on this item?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move this to the consent.
Very good. I see a hand up, so I'll just ask, I'll call in Senator Flexer and then we'll move this to consent afterwards if that's appropriate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to ask a quick clarifying question, and I think you said this, but I want to be crystal clear. This legislation does not affect existing organizations in any way, shape, or form. It just allows for the formation of a new one.
I'm sorry, say that. It allows for a formation of a what?
Something new.
Well, you might be thinking about the next bill. You might be jumping ahead a little bit. I'm not sure.
I
The
was
next
jumping
one-
ahead. I'm sorry, Mr.
the
Chair.
next-
I
the next one deals with
apologize. No day
foundations, right?
multitasking. Sorry.
No, that's fine. This bill just sets up a reporting mechanism for the state university, the state community college system to report certain metrics to us on an ongoing basis after they merge.
Thank you.
All right, so Representative Haynes had previously moved this to the consent calendar, and if there's no objection, then I will move this item to the consent calendar. And the last item is item number 7, Senate Bill number 1106, and that concerning the foundations of the regional community technical colleges. The chair will accept a JFS to the floor for LCO number 5875.
Rep. Haynes, so moved.
Senator Slap, second.
Motion made and seconded. To answer your question, Senator Flexer, though, in this bill, we are only acting to preserve the integrity of the existing community college foundations that each support an existing institution, individually accredited institution. And as a result of the merger, we need to act to make sure that those foundations can continue to serve a campus of the new state community college. And so the intention here is to ensure that the local chief executive officer of each campus is the person who continues to serve in the capacity that they currently serve as it relates to each individual community college foundation, and that each individual community college foundation can continue to exist and serve just a campus that they have previously served. I see Representative Johnson has a question or a comment.
Thank you, Chair. And it is just, I appreciate Senator Flexer's question. That was mine as well. And I just wanted to then extend it just a little bit to confirm that these foundations that exist will still have autonomy and agency over their campus. And there won't be like a merger that would be required at any point based on what we have here. That's my understanding.
It's not only your understanding, but that is the reason for the bill, is to make sure that a merger is not required.
And I thank you for that clarification. I know that there's been some discussion in my neck of the woods, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, we love our independent community college foundations, and we want to keep them independent. Are there any additional questions or comments?
Mr. Chair, I recommend that we put this on the consent calendar.
Representative Haynes, without objection, we will move this to the consent calendar. That concludes the list of items. I think that we need to call the roll on the consent calendar. The consent calendar are items number 1, House Bill 5437, item number 2, House Bill number 5441, item number 6, Senate Bill number 921, and item number 7, Senate Bill number 1106. I think I've got that right. And if the clerk wants to confirm that those are the 4 items that are in the consent calendar, then we can move on to calling the roll.
I can confirm those are the items that I have listed for the consent calendar. I'm gonna begin roll. Rep. Haddad,
Representative Haddad votes yes.
Senator Slap,
Senator Slap votes yes.
Representative Haynes,
Rep. Haynes votes yes.
Senator Kelly,
Senator Kelly votes yes.
Representative Rochelle,
Rep. Rochelle votes yes.
Senator Mar,
Senator Mar votes yes.
Representative Arceno,
Rep. Arceno votes yes.
Representative Brown, Representative Case,
Representative Case votes yes.
Representative Cooley,
Representative Cooley votes yes.
Representative D'Amico,
Representative D'Amico votes yes.
Representative Farrar,
Representative Farrar votes yes.
Senator Flexer,
Senator Flexer votes yes.
Representative Fortier,
Representative Fortier votes yes.
Representative Johnson,
Representative Johnson votes yes.
Representative Lanu,
Yes.
Senator Lopes,
Senator Lopes votes yes.
Senator Maroney, Representative Paris, Representative Scott,
Representative Scott votes yes.
Representative Turco,
Representative Turco votes yes.
Representative Weir.
Rep. Weir is yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our business today. We'll adjourn in an hour. But let me just say a couple of items just of thanks to our terrific staff that have done really great work making sure that we get to do our work efficiently. And among them, I'd like to thank our LCO attorney, Noreen Hashmi, who's done really great work at drafting all of our bills and making sure that we're on the right track with our language. I also want to thank Jessica Callahan and Alex Rieger, who are representatives from the Office of Legislative Research. They're a wealth of information that have really helped us a lot, particularly in screening, answer questions, and sort of vet through ideas. And Sarah Bourne and Dan Dilworth, who worked with us from the Office of Fiscal Analysis, have done great work for us. And as all these get fiscal notes, their work is really just beginning. And I just wanted to thank them for their effort. Additionally, I'd like to thank our clerk and our assistant clerk, Jazz and Lucas. They've done really great work making sure that when we have our meetings and when we're prepped for meetings, that we all have the language that we require and that our meetings run smoothly. I really appreciate Jazz as my legislative aide as well. She does great work for me, helping to keep me on task and make sure that everything is going well. And so I just wanted to thank all of those folks for the work that they put in. Those are the sort of unsung heroes who work behind the scenes to make sure that committees like ours get to do great work. I don't know if Senator Slapp or has any additional comments, or if anybody else does, but I really just wanted to make sure that they were thanked and them know that I think everybody on our committee, I speak for everybody on our committee, that we thank you very much for your work and for your effort.
You forgot to thank the Academy, but
The Academy.
other than that, you were spot on. No, I appreciate everybody's work, the great bipartisan spirit of this committee. And look forward to continuing to work on these bills in the next few months. So thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to everybody.
Thank you. And I will just take a moment to thank, again, you mentioned bipartisanship. Our ranking members, Representative Haynes and Senator Kelly, have been really great to work with. They've added a lot to our discussion, and I think worked very hard to make our work product better. And so I really appreciate their willingness to come to the table with good ideas, and their efforts to make sure that our committee runs smoothly. So thank you very much. And if either of you have any questions or any comments that you'd like to make, but you are welcome to make them.
Mr. Chair, if you'd allow me, I'd like to make one comment as a freshman coming in.
Representative Cooley, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank the chairs and the ranking members and the rest of the committee. This has been a very collegial experience coming into the General Assembly as a freshman. And I hope to speak for the other freshmen that came in, but I won't presume to do so. But I found it to be very collegial and a lot easier than dealing with faculty meetings in my career. So I want to thank everybody for the great effort and work in what we've put in so far. And it has been a great experience so far being on this committee. And I just wanted to thank everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any additional comments from ranking members?
Representative Haddad?
Yes, Representative Haynes.
Recording in progress.
No. I'm sorry, Senator I don't know, was Representative Haynes want to be recognized? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, except everybody's just speaking ahead of me, so I'm happy to let everybody speak. That's fine. If Senator Marr wants something to say, absolutely, go right ahead.
Well, actually, I had called on you, Representative Haynes, so I'll make Senator Marr wait a second. You go ahead, Representative Haynes.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I just, I echo everybody's thoughts. It's been a great committee. I'm hoping to get the rest of this over the finish line. And, we've done good work here in higher ed and workforce development, and looking forward to, again, getting it all over the finish line. So thanks to all our staff. Jazz, great job. And thanks so much to everybody to make these things work through. So thanks again.
Thank you, Representative Haynes. I look forward to working with you on the floor to make sure our bills get through final passage too. Senator Marr.
Thank you so much. Completely agree with everything that's been said. The staff has been phenomenal, and also the leadership. It's been a real pleasure to work alongside Representative Haddad, Senator Slapp, Representative Haynes, Senator Kelly. It's been a terrific experience for me also as a freshman. So I just want to say thank you for that and for showing us how it's done.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Right, then we will adjourn until 1:30.
We recessing, Mr. Chair.
Recess, I'm sorry, we are recessing until 1:30. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
Hi, Madam Clerk.
Hello. So there's like feedback, so let me.
Is it better now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep. Senator Flexer votes yes. Oh, now I can't hear you, Madam Clerk. I'm sorry. Nope. Are we all done? Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Hey, Jazz, did I miss anything? I did. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. There's gonna be an echo. I'm
That's
sorry. So the first item I need is 5737, and that concerning health insurance for retired part-time faculty of the Connecticut State University system.
Representative Brown votes yes.
Okay. Then it's SB 1105, and that concerning the percentage of course taught by part-time faculty at the regional community technical colleges.
Representative Brown votes yes.
And then I need your vote on the consent calendar. It has items 1,
Yes.
2, 6, and 7. Yep,
Cool. That's it.
that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jazz. Bye.
Sorry. Hi, Senator Maroney. I called Kaylee as well, and she told me you're on a cruise. I'm like, oh, okay. So I hope you're enjoying your trip.
Oh, I am. Yeah, did I miss the vote or no? Am I in on time?
But okay, so just gonna pull up the items right here. Okay, so the first item voted on was HB 5737, and now concerning health insurance for retired part-time faculty of the Connecticut State University system.
Senator Maroney votes yes. Thank you.
Yep. SB 1105, and now concerning the percentage of course taught by part-time faculty of the regional community technical colleges.
Senator Maroney votes yes.
Next is SB 1107, and that concerning contracts, bids, and capital improvement projects for the University of Connecticut.
Senator Maroney votes yes.
Awesome. And then we had a consent calendar with items HB 5437, and act establishing a student loan subsidy program for police officers, HB 5441, an act concerning college graduates who work in the field of education or healthcare in the state, SB 921, an act requiring the reporting of implementation of student first plan, and SB 1106, an act concerning the foundations of regional community technical colleges. How do you vote on that? The consent calendar.
Senator Maroney votes yes.
Awesome. And that is it. Thank you for taking time from your vacation.
Thank you so much. See you next week. Oh,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. Bye.
Bye.